Hello friends, so I am releasing a series of meditations that have to do with utilizing prana. This is one of the greatest ways for you to really get in touch with your energetic body, your psychic self, all this kind of stuff, self-purification, healing of others, etc. I mean, the list goes on, right? Because we're dealing with the energy body. There are a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind as you do this. So awakening prana is not easy. It's not easy at all. And at first, what you're going to have to do is have the mental experience. So there are going to be certain parts in the meditations that you're practicing where you're going to be visualizing streams of light, right? And they're coming up through your body and spreading everywhere, or whatever the practice is calling for. As long as you're imagining the light and the light streaks, then it's going to be a mental experience. So you may not actually get a full pranic experience yet. With all these meditations and all these exercises, it always starts in the mental before it comes into the physical. So have patience. When you actually have the pranic experience, you will see the light really vividly, and it will be like you're not even controlling it, like you're literally experiencing it versus having to imagine it. But don't trip if you have to imagine it first, because that's the first thing that you're going to be doing. And so with these exercises, just keep in mind that as you're starting them, it's going to be a purely mental experience. You're going to get relief from it. You're going to get a little bit closer to your goals with it, but it's not going to be the full experience. Not yet. In order to have the full experience, I recommend that you practice just circulating the prana on your own. So taking the exercises that teaches you about Pingala Nadi and Ida Nadi, and really working on visualizing prana moving up Pingala Nadi all the way up to Ajna, which is the storehouse, right? So that's right here. Holding it for a couple of seconds and then bringing it back down, Sushumna, right back down the spinal passage. If you want to practice with Ida Nadi as well, Ida going the opposite direction, going down through the chakras, please do that too. You'll start to feel and achieve better results that way. You'll start to feel a little bit more connected. But don't be discouraged. And the exercises that I'm releasing are kind of preliminaries, so they're good exercises that provide framework for you to know what to do, what to practice on your own time. But awakening prana does take more time than just the meditations I upload. Like, it's going to actually take practice of you just circulating up Pingala Nadi to Ajna, holding your breath here for a couple of seconds and then bringing it back down to Sushumna. That's going to take, in the books, they mention like every day, probably about 46 rounds of that, 46 to 50 rounds. So don't be discouraged if you're not getting crazy results yet through these exercises. They take time, and they take a little bit of extra practice in order for prana to no longer be a mental experience, but to actually be a physical one. Also, practice Ujjayi breath with pretty much every meditation that you do that involves prana. So that's a light snoring sound in the back of the throat. So it sounds like a that's the sound that you want to be making. It's like a vibration back here, okay? And also there's a type of mudra that you hold with your tongue where it's at the top of the roof of your mouth. And you hold that there while you're doing the Ujjayi breathing. So if you want to awaken prana and you want to accelerate your process, or go from the mental experience to the actual physical one, that's the kind of work that you're going to be having to do on your own as you're doing these meditations as well. I recommend doing the meditations and then also spending some time just practicing going up Pingala Nadi, up to Ajna, down Sushumna, 46 to 50 times. So then you can really get comfortable with that pathway. Then you'll start to see things manifest in the physical a little bit better. So don't get discouraged. Everything starts in your imagination. Everything starts as a mental experience before it comes down to the physical. It just takes a little bit of practice before it comes down into the physical, but it will eventually. So anyway, many blessings on your journeys. I hope that these exercises really help you with your own self-purification process and your process and getting more familiar with your energy body, and hopefully brings you to a point to where you can also help to heal others. All right. I will talk to you soon. Bye.